Hey athletes, we're talking about floor presses here. So, what are we trying to do? We're trying to simulate maybe a push-up or some type of a bench press or something like that, where we are attempting to use our chest to move these weights along with our shoulders and triceps. So, if you're having troubles with push-ups, this is a great place to start, making sure that your body from parallel, where your shoulder and your elbow are at the same level. This will allow you to make sure that you are strong enough that you can start progressing your push-ups. And for others, this is just a great chest and a great upper body pushing exercise to be done if you don't have a bench. So let's look at this. So as I lay back, I rack them up. Now, I immediately am making a triangle with these dumbbells, okay? The reason being is that'll help me use as much of my chest as I possibly can. And it'll take any unneeded pressure off of my shoulder. If my elbow maybe were in here and I was more like a perpendicular angle, that could put more pressure into my shoulder and less into my chest. And you'll see later if we go too close, we will have some complications too. But let's see what this looks like. I take my breath, I make sure my lower back is on the ground, and I press. Now you can see my chest came together. Okay, that's the first thing you see move is my chest, and that's a good thing. So I take my breath, I brace, boom, right there my chest is already moving before my arms come all the way through and my triceps lock my elbows out. Now you can see I'm still having this triangle at the top. Again, that allows me to simulate a push-up very closely, because again, if you're doing a traditional standard push-up, your hands aren't going to be really wide, your hands aren't going to be really close. They're going to be looking more similar to this. I come all the way to the floor, I press right back up, I come back to the floor, and I'm back up. Every single repetition, I'm trying to brace, take a breath, and make sure that it's my chest doing the work. So, let's see that from a different angle. A little closer, right? So again, nice triangle here. I'm making sure that my chest is doing as much work as possible. Now, your chest will do more work on a push-up if you follow the rules of bringing your shoulders below your elbows, but even though your arms are braced against the ground, your chest should still move. Your chest should still do most of the work as well. So I'm pushing up and away, I brace, I drive, I take my breath, I brace, I drive. Okay, let's talk about some of the faults that we see. So here, see if you can see that I pressed out like a Y. Right, I'm way out wide, there's a lot of space between these dumbbells. Instead of pressing them slightly toward one another, I pushed out and away. And that's something that we want to avoid because this puts so much extra pressure in your shoulder. Okay, because it's outward, that, again, our shoulder is the only thing stabilizing this. I didn't get any chest activation and I got a lot of tricep. So we want to make sure that they stay right over our pecs. That way our pecs can do the work. Now, we don't want to have our arms too narrow either. Now, yes, you can still see I get a lot of chest activation, but unless you're doing really narrow, like a chaturanga style, which is the type of push-up we do in a yoga class, unless you're doing those push-ups and you're wanting to affect those push-ups and make them better, again, we don't need your elbows that close. We want to be as similar to a standard push-up as we can, because that standard push-up, at least the way that we teach it at the Complete Athlete, that allows us to utilize the most musculature per movement. That way we can affect more muscle fibers. Having your elbows close or having your elbows out really wide, you're going to affect less muscle and you're not going to be able to move as much weight. So again, having our arms too narrow and bringing our dumbbells too close can be problematic, right? So here you can see I'm really, really close and bringing them really, really close together. Again, I'm getting a lot of chest activation, but again, unless you're trying to affect a chaturanga style push-up, it's just not needed. So here's a different angle from those Y presses, okay? Going out too far. Okay, you can see again, that's really wide. The camera doesn't really capture it, but man, I'm twinging and struggling in order to do this. And again, that's just not ideal. Bringing them too close together, not needed either. They don't need to bang against each other for this to work. And once again, keeping your elbows in tight might not be the most efficient way to do these. So again, do your best to make it simulate a regular push-up. That way we can use the most weight, we can affect the most muscle fibers, and you can spend less time at the gym and get to your results quicker. I'll see you next time.